I'm going to try to win a golden boot with a goalkeeper. And our goalkeeper of choice is going to be Joe Hart, who we've actually used in a previous Football Manager experiment. And we saw with Joe Hart that he can actually score a decent number of goals from goalkeeper. So we are going to try to get him to score even more goals in this Football Manager experiment to see if he can win the golden boot. And I think Joe Hart is a good candidate for this for a number of reasons. But most importantly, he's got a really high jumping reach of 17. And I'm not sure if y'all can see that, but his penalty taking is 13, which is really good for a keeper. So this is going to allow us to weaponize his ability to win headers on corners and to take penalty kicks. And hopefully we'll get enough goals off of corners and dead ball situations and penalties that Joe Hart might be able to win a golden boot. And this is how we're going to start off. So we've got Joe Hart playing in goal here with just kind of a generic 4-3-3 gegenpress situation. And this is just so we know that Celtic we have a tactic that we know is going to create a lot of chances, get the ball into the final third, and hopefully, draw some fouls, win some corners, and get into the box, potentially get fouled, and maybe get Joe Hart some pens. So moving on from here, we're going to go in our set pieces, and if we go to our set piece takers, first of all, we have Joe Hart taking all direct free kicks. This is just for potentially the opportunity for him to score off of a direct free kick goal. We do not have him, however, take free kicks where he would not be in a situation to shoot it. And that's because we're going to want him in the box, potentially winning headers for those free kicks. Looking at set pieces, we have just created a near post set piece tactic with Joe Hart attacking the near post and the ball going into the near post. We've done this on both the right and left sides. And finally, we have Joe Hart on all penalties. He is going to be our only penalty taker, and we are not allowing a player who has scored 2 goals to take a penalty. We want Joe Hart taking every penalty to potentially get the most goals. Evidently, this is going to be difficult. I don't even know. Has a goalkeeper ever scored in the Scottish Premier League before? I'm not sure. I'm sure one of you all maybe know that answer. But it usually goes to a forward. It's usually going to someone. But last season's top goal scorer, 13 goals. So we can get Joe Hart maybe over 13 goals. He might be able to win it, but in previous seasons, it's been closer to 18 or 22. I think Joe Hart's going to need to get 20 goals for him to potentially be in the running to win the Golden Boot. So we are going to sim forward one season with our current changes, and let's see what happens. All right, welcome back. We are one season into the future. Let's see how we did. If we go to Joe Hart here, we go to history, career stats, 15 goals. Joe Hart had 15 league goals. Wow, that's much better than I thought he was going to do. Okay, 13 league goals won it last year. 15 league goals for Joe Hart. I think that could that be enough? It might. Let's see. Okay, competitions, Scottish Premiership. Let's look at the award winners, and let's go to top goal scorer. No, it was. Oh man, Furuhashi got 30 goals. Oh, Joe Hart didn't even make the top 3. That's just 15 goals is a lot. Honestly, 15 goals is a lot, but Furuhashi just had a huge season. All right. We're going to have to try something new now. I'm going to go back to the original and let's try a few things a little bit differently to try to get Joe Hart a couple more goals. I don't know if he can get 30, but maybe we'll get a season 2 where we just don't see a 30 goal season. We get closer to maybe a 15 or 20 goal season. All right, welcome back. We are at the beginning again. We are in attempt number 2 of trying to get Joe Hart to win the Golden Boot. And Furuhashi, playing for Celtic, got 30 goals last season. So we're going to try to not get so many goals from a Celtic player. I've changed pretty much everything to be a support duty, so we do not have an attack duty. And hopefully that'll just mean that we're not getting as many players shooting and scoring goals, but we'll still be in the final third to get, free kicks, corners, penalties, etc. I have kept Joe Hart as our direct set piece taker, and we are keeping the same corner kick tactic because I think those 3 goals ended up doing really well. But something else we are implementing is going to be a free kick tactic. So Joe Hart is going to be attacking the far post, and we are going to be aiming to the far post for all of our free kicks. So hopefully Joe Hart will also be able to get on the end of some free kicks. So we're doing that for small chances of shot, indirect free kicks, and indirect deep free kicks. So we're getting Joe Hart going forward, and hopefully he'll be able to get his head on the end of some free kicks as well. And of course, we once again have Joe Hart as our main penalty taker. And hopefully this will be enough to, again, get him in those double-digit goals and potentially see him win the Golden Boot. So this is attempt number 2. Let's see how we do. All right, this is the end of attempt number 2. How did we do? Joe Hart got 17 goals. He's done better. I mean, it's 2 goals better, but 2 goals could be enough. He has a huge average rating here. Surely Joe Hart must be like the player of the year or something. All right, 37 appearances. He's scored almost as many goals as he conceded. That's kind of wild. All right, 17 goals. Was it enough? I think it might be. 17 goals is pretty good. Going to the award winners. Joe Hart won the Players' Player of the Year. That is very promising. Top goal scorer? No! He didn't even make the top 3. Oh, and 24 goals is, man, honestly, 24 goals is beatable, but Joe Hart finished 4th probably. 18 goals, 19 goals, 24 goals is quite a bit. Man, Joe Hart 17 goals, but that's a lot. I don't know how many more than 17 goals we're going to get, but wow. All right, we're getting close. We're not getting a 40-goal scorer. I think we try this again. We go for attempt number 3. All right, welcome back. We're trying attempt number 3 again. I think we need Joe Hart to potentially score some more goals. We need to weaponize every chance he can get. So we're doing something. We're going into the in-game editor. We're changing Joe Hart a little bit, and I've given him 20 jumping reach. I don't know if you guys can see that. He now has 20 free kick taking, 20 penalty taking, and 20 technique. So we're weaponizing every chance he can get. He should score every pen. He should win every header. And hopefully that will get us some goals. We're keeping the exact same formation that we had previously. As far as set pieces are concerned, we have the same corner kick tactic. We have the same attacking free kick tactics as far as like getting it into Joe Hart is concerned. I've also implemented a throw-in tactic just to potentially get Joe Hart in the box for throw-ins. I don't know how much that will help as well. And we have Joe Hart on pens once again. Let's go forward 1 season. Let's see what happens. All right, we are at the end of attempt number 3. How did our boy Joe Hart do? 6 goals, that's it? How did he only get 6 goals? That's so disappointing. Is it even worth looking to, I mean, 6 goals. What was the top goal scorer got 24, 6 goals. All right, let's just move on to attempt number 4. 6 goals is not what we were hoping for. All right, we are back for attempt number 4, and I don't see how it cannot help. So I'm keeping his jumping reach, free kick taking, penalty taking, etc. as high as it can be. But something that I realized that I might have made a mistake on for attempt number 3 that may have contributed to him scoring less goals is that I didn't add in other free kick takers. So generally, just if you don't specify a free kick taker, then the best free kick taker will take it, and Joe Hart has a free kick taking of 20. So for like the small chance of shot and indirect wide and indirect deep, Joe Hart might have been the one playing it in as opposed to being on the end of it. So I have gone through and set up some new free kick takers. So I've specified a bunch of other free kick takers to take these free kicks to send it into Joe Hart. But to potentially even help, I've also given corners, 20 corners for anyone taking corners, and 20 free kicks for anyone taking free kicks. So they should have an amazing delivery into Joe Hart. They should be able to find him easily. And same thing as far as corners and free kicks are concerned. Otherwise, everything is still the same. Joe Hart is, the corner, near post corner. We've got far post free kicks. And of course, we have Joe Hart on penalties as well. We're going to see what happens. We're using the same tactic that we had previously. So hopefully Joe Hart will be the top scorer for this team. And hopefully that'll be enough to win win a very first golden boot. So this is attempt number 4. If this doesn't work, I don't really know what to do after this point. So let's go forward a season and see how we do. All right, attempt number 4. How did we do? That is going to be the question. Career stats. 14 goals. That's good. It's not the highest number of goals we've had. I don't think it'll be enough, if I'm going to be honest. But how are we not scoring as many goals as we did earlier? Well, 14 goals for Joe Hart. How did we do? Furuhashi that's not good. Furuhashi got 27 goals, man. How is he doing this? Well, oh man. 14 goals. I mean, he was probably in like the top 10 scorers in the league, maybe even top 5, with Bruce Anderson getting 17. But I don't think we're ever going to get to a point then where Joe Hart, I just don't think he's getting enough chances to be able to score, 20 plus goals a season. I have one last idea. This is going to be the last attempt number 5. And I think what we're going to need to do, we've probably maxed out the number of goals Joe Hart can score. So instead of trying to get him to score more goals, I think we need everyone else to score less goals. This is where we're at, attempt number 5. This is going to be our final attempt. We do have Joe Hart with our usual thing. I'm also going to go through real quickly, and we are going to go and try to play for set pieces, potentially get Joe Hart some more set pieces as well. Everything else has remained the same. But we're also nerfing a bunch of players. Furuhashi now has a finishing of 1 and a composure of 1. That should mean that he's not scoring as many goals. Daiyuzen Maeda also has a finishing of 1. We've also got into Yota and given him a finishing of 1. But we haven't just done this for Celtic players. We've done this for the whole league as well. So I've gone through every team and pretty just made sure that their strikers have a finishing of 1. So I've just gone through each team, looked at their forwards, and tried to give them a finishing of 1. So hopefully we're not going to see teams with real high goal scorers, and this will give Joe Hart a better opportunity to win the Golden Boot. So for some examples, here's Ryan Kent, who plays for Rangers. I've given him a finishing 1 and a composure of 1. And hopefully by nerfing some of these players, we'll be able to get a victory, a Golden Boot victory for Joe Hart. So this is the final simulation. This is the final attempt. I'm going to go forward 1 year. Let's see how Joe Hart does. Welcome back. We are at the end of attempt number 5. How many goals did we get Joe Hart to score? 13 goals. I don't think that's going to be enough. All right, 13 goals for Joe Hart. If everyone else got nerfed, maybe we did it. Let's go and look at the award winners. Top goal scorer was Maeda with 17. We did nerf it. We just did it. Nerf it. Maeda got 17 goals with 1 finishing. It's got to be the pace. Well, if this was the first simulation, Joe Hart might have done it. I think he got 17 in one of the first 2 simulations, but we just didn't quite get enough goals for Joe Hart to win the Golden Boot. It was a good effort. We never got him in the top 3, but we did get him pretty close. And he was only, 4 goals off the Golden Boot here. So I think it's possible, but we just didn't get it in our 5 attempts today. I think if you all did this at home and maybe went for a little bit longer than me, you might have been able to do it. But unfortunately, we were not able to get Joe Hart to win a Golden Boot in this simulation. Well, that's all I've got. We got pretty close to getting Joe Hart to win a Golden Boot, but we didn't quite get there. Overall, though, this was fun. And, maybe we'll revisit it. We might try this again. There's some potential here, and maybe if we did it enough times, we might be able to get a goalkeeper a Golden Boot. But with that, thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you all are having a wonderful week, and I will see you all next time. Bye!